So today, episode 9 of the Beavers franchise trade deadline special. We're going to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff today. No gameplay. Sorry, we'll get back to that in the next episode. The thing with this episode is I really want to get through the month of June, the month of July. I want to see maybe if injuries pop up, but realistically, I want to get those trades done. And I want to kind of start to blueprint, get a little plan for the second half of the season. What prospects are coming up, what players need to be sent down, you know, kind of just get an idea of what kind of, on top of like the issues that we already have with the team, but what are those holes that we really need to plug and start to add players into those positions. So let's get into it. I hope you enjoy it. Thumbs up if you do, subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content. And of course, in the comment section, let me know what you thought about our moves today, the signings, the trades, whatever it is. Let me know your thoughts down below. Of course, all social media links are in the description. Go and give them a follow if you haven't already. And so what I'm thinking here is let's get through like the All-Star break. Let's just sim to that point. And then we're going to start talking about the team. So let's just get there really quickly. Let's just kind of see what happens as we move through the month. So far, we're getting a little lucky. No injuries or anything like that. Cubs have a trade. Sergio Alcantara. Not really a shortstop I was looking at. He's not really doing well. And I think I'm going to pass on that deal. So let's just get to this point. And we have a Lucius Fox. I saw some of you guys comment him in the comment section, and he doesn't look bad. He's a switch hitter. Is struggling a little bit, but again, I just seem like if I'm gonna get a shortstop, I want it to be an upgrade on what we have, as Bennett Souza goes down with a small injury, and he's back already. Look at that. And Art Saunders comes back. There we go. I'm actually gonna send him down to AA. I know he's in AAA right now, but I kind of want him to kind of just get everyday game time. I want him to also just get that chance, right? Like just everyday game time, get that opportunity to develop a little bit. And just I feel like being in AA, maybe for the rest of the season, maybe towards the end, we call him up to what's it called? We call him up to AAA just to kind of see how he does in maybe the last month or two. But for right now, let's get him into the everyday lineup at second or AA. Jeez, let him develop. Just coming off an injury, he's still only 18 as well. So let's trust the process here. Let's just get him everyday game time, let him develop, and see how it goes. Because the injury probably set him back a little bit. So let's be smart about it rather than trying to rush him. So let's get to the All-Star break. They can sort that out there. And we'll see who our all-star is, and then we'll start sorting out the trades that we need to do. So Darren DeWard pulled groin, but he's going to be okay. Or DeWard, I forget. Whatever. We're going to call him Double D going forward. So, all right, all-star. Who was our all-star? We have no pitchers. Surprising, right? I would assume one of our pitchers, right? Our all-star representative was Tomas Nido. And I'm looking at this here. And some interesting names, but for the most part, pretty straightforward. Ahmed Rosario is an interesting one. But, you know, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. And you look at the National League. I mean, look at those ERAs, man. Like, we need something like this in our team. 100%. But, okay. All right. Let's see. Who else? Nico Horner. I saw some of you guys comment his name along with Nick Madrigal. I just feel like what their offensive numbers are, they're just not players that I'm looking for. Okay, so right now we're at the deadline, right? Like, or close to it, right? We're about a week out. We definitely need to make some trades to improve the team, right? Like that's just the fact. Our team is just not good. We're 21-70, right? We're just not good. So I was looking at the depth chart, and I was noticing that obviously the bullpen's a big issue, right? Like that's a given. We already knew it was going to be bad. We definitely need help there. That's something we know. But trades, signings, we can draft relievers and they develop really quickly. I feel like we're okay there, right? Like I'm not too stressed about not having a good bullpen right now. It's season 1. We can always add to it. And it's really annoying me that the faces aren't popping up. And it looks like it's bugged and it's not going to pop up anyways. Oh. Okay, whatever. So no bullpen, right? We're fine there. And then I was also looking at the outfield. I was looking at the infield, kind of seeing where we need to improve the team. We're about to get our shortstop, right? That was the plan for today. We had to get the shortstop. We'll talk about that in a sec. Next up, third base. We've got Andujar for now, right? or potentially thinking about maybe swapping Andujar and Dahlbeck just because Dahlbeck's a little bit better with the glove. But we also have Christian Arroyo. So between Dahlbeck, Arroyo, Andujar, third base for right now is okay until Saunders is good to go. Shortstop, we've already talked about. Second base, we've got Guillorme for now until Volpe is ready, which we've looked at his numbers. He's improving. I think he can be ready maybe next year or the year after that. Like, I definitely think he's a guy to keep our eye on. And then first base, I think for the time being, we're okay between our multiple options that we have. We can always add another one if we need to, or we can draft one. And on top of that, at second base, we drafted, two really decent second basemen plus a couple other prospects as well. So, like, I feel like second base, we're kind of set there also. So, starters, let's talk about them. You know, like, if we move forward a little bit, just a couple years, you can see Zach Thompson. You know, they're projecting Zach Thompson to get up to like an 85 in the next couple seasons. So, you know, even let's go to 2024, which is 2 years down the line from now. You can kind of see how the team starts to change a little bit. Poisson's at short, even though we'll probably have another shortstop there. Arroyo's there. Saunders, they moved him to first at 81, but he could definitely be at third base if we need him to. We've got our catchers of Contreras and Nido. Pitchers, you can see Morejon, Thompson, Eshelman, Honeywell, Harris, Darren starting to pop in there. Our bullpen, a little bit of a question mark, but again, I said that'll be an easy fix. But if you look at the outfield, that is our clear error, or just kind of players that are missing, right? We don't really have anybody that looks like they can compete, you know, with some of the best players in the league. So I feel like maybe we try to sneak in maybe a little outfield prospect, like a good outfield prospect, because, you know, we have the fourth best prospect in baseball right now, and we also have the 33rd, but outside of that, we don't really have anybody else, you know? So if we can maybe sneak in an outfielder, obviously like Julio Rodriguez is off the table, maybe like a Drew Waters, a Christian Pache, maybe a Valera, who's actually with the Guardians in real life, I believe, or a Cowser, Jason Dominguez, you know, maybe, but definitely maybe just try to find someone with a little bit of potential that we can get a little bit excited for, you know. So that's kind of my plan as well. So there's that as we approach the deadline. So obviously there are these big names there. I don't really want to go for them. Austin Meadows. Tyrone Taylor is there. Anybody else that maybe just snuck up on here recently that we could use? Doesn't really look like it unless we wanted to like move Vidal Brujan to the outfield. I mean, it's a possibility, right? It definitely is. Ryan Valade. We got Willie Calhoun, Jalen Davis. Okay, so like outfield, we'll probably have to make a trade somehow. But let's focus on that shortstop position. Alrighty, so shortstops, we talked about a couple, and there were like 4 names that you guys really mentioned a lot. There were a lot of other suggestions, but I felt like these 4 were the ones that stuck out the most. Nicky Lopez, Adalberto Mondesi, Gavin Lux, and then he threw me a complete curveball with Willy Adames. And I like that idea a lot. Like a lot. I'm a huge Adames fan. I was super bummed when he got traded to the Brewers because I knew he was going to be facing the Cubs a lot. And he's just a good baseball player. He's a good shortstop. So let's talk about the Royals 2 first. Nicky Lopez and Mondesi. So the one thing I don't like about Mondesi, obviously the offensive numbers are lacking. And the issue is he's basically reached his potential already. And so when you look at the fielding, the stealing, you know, he's kind of fulfilled his potential. He's not really going to develop anymore. The beat potential is 80 to 89. So he's just kind of stuck. He's not going to improve much more. If anything, we're probably going to start to see some regression. I don't want to jump in and fix his potential and make it like A so that we see some development. So realistically, the only way we're going to see Mondesi do well is if we actually play more games, because, you know, he's got one of those really good swings in game that just plays well. The thing is, if I'm going to trade for a shortstop, I don't really know if he's going to be the guy, because he's not really going to help us out offensively, and we need offensive players. So he's kind of on my like unsure list. All right. Nicky Lopez. So the thing with Nicky Lopez, again, beat potential. So realistically, 89 is kind of the cap, even if that is his potential. His overall's gone up. You can see the hitting numbers are good, the vision, the discipline, and the fielding, and the arm, right? Like, so he's got all the tools to play that middle infield position, and his hitting numbers are already decent. So with that in mind, I feel like even if he doesn't develop too much more, at least he's going to be good right now, right? He's got those offensive numbers, the on-base percentage, the average. And like I said, we need people to get on base. We need people to get hits. So even if he doesn't, say he goes up maybe 2 ratings and, maybe the contact still stands around the 80s, the vision and discipline stays the same, we still got a good player here. So right now, Mondesi's at the bottom. Nicky Lopez is above him just because of the numbers being a little bit better offensively. Let's move over to Gavin Lux now. Again, Gavin Lux is developing a potential, so at least 90. So there is still room to grow. And we'd actually drop his overall if we moved him to shortstop rather than second base. So he'd probably be like 84, 83. So there'd be even more room to grow at shortstop. The one issue with him is his arm's a little bit weak for shortstop. That will develop over time, so I'm not too worried about that. But the offensive numbers will also develop too. So we could see a player who is currently struggling right now, but you know what? You can see his numbers are going up quite a bit. We'd have an offensive player in the future. So again, he is a guy for the future. He could help us out offensively. He could help us out defensively. But I think right now it's probably Mondesi, Lux, Nicky Lopez. All right. And then obviously that's going to leave the conversation of Willy Adames, who is probably the most polished product we could get. Fielding, arm, decent reactions. He's got the power numbers. He's got decent contact numbers. The vision is a little low, but the discipline's there. And you can see he's having an unbelievable year. Had a really strong year last year too. So a potential. He's going to develop. He's 26 years old. He does have team control too. It's tough. Adames is definitely at the top. I really like that suggestion you guys threw out. That is just an insane suggestion. A lot of you guys like that comment as well. So I'm torn. I'm really torn between Adames, Lux, and Nicky Lopez. And if we go to make trades for all of them, right? We'll start with Nicky Lopez, because I'm assuming he's going to be the easier of the players to trade for. We're definitely going to need to throw in a top prospect. The one that I'm okay with getting rid of is the catcher, just because catchers are so hit and miss anyways. He's kind of struggling in AAA. And on top of that, again, like I said, hitters are so hit and miss. You kind of just need to find established ones already. So at this point, you can tell they're looking for a bunch of different positions. We have those positions, and I feel like we could definitely make a move and make this deal done pretty easily. We could do that, and that would be the trade there, right? So Nicky Lopez would be coming in. We'd give him a top prospect, a couple other players, and they'd be good to go. Maybe instead of Seth Brown, maybe we throw in a pitcher, and one of the pitchers that I'm okay to get rid of is just Justin Dunn. I looked at his numbers a little bit more. He's not really impressing me. We could do something like that where they get a pitcher with some upside. They get a catcher, a top prospect who's like number 35, and then also Michael Franco for an established guy we can throw as shortstop. If we move to the Dodgers for Gavin Lux, the same deal does get done, but I feel like I would need to throw in someone besides Michael Franco. Probably another prospect, right? Or maybe Jose Rondon. Man, I think we'd have to throw in a prospect, but I don't really want to. Maybe like a Maxwell Muncy. Give him another Max Muncy in the organization. But probably Rondon, Muncy, or Allen. Just an established shortstop or a prospect. So they're getting a top prospect. They're getting a pitcher with some upside. And then another top prospect to make that deal done. And then we head over to the Brewers. And then Willy Adames, it still looks like it's kind of the same thing. So all 3 trades are definitely possible. And even with Mondesi, obviously being the worst of the 4, he's going to be pretty easy to acquire too. I just don't know who to go with. All right, so since I'm kind of torn between the shortstop still, and I've been thinking about it for about 10 minutes and I still don't know who to go with, I'm gonna pick up a couple pieces that I wanted to get first, right? Let's just kind of attack some of the other positions in the league, or not in the league, in the team that I wanted to improve. So I keep hitting the wrong button. So let's go to the block. Let's see if there's a reliever that we can snag up that a team's willing to part ways with. Let's see, what's his situation? 2 years of control. He had a really good year last year, but then struggling this year. Limited appearances. The walks are low, the control's low. So we might hold off. Reynaldo Lopez, is he struggling? A little bit. 1 more year of control, and then a free agent at 29. Interesting. Yimmy's a little bit too old. Sir Anthony, I'm out on. Let's see, who else is available? A couple older relievers. So they're probably not going to improve too much more. Okay, so Luke Jackson's an interesting one. Becomes a free agent in a year. He's 75 overall. Why are they wanting to trade him? Just because he's struggling a little bit? I mean, he kind of throws gas too. 94, okay, not really, but he's on the block. I'm kind of interested on that one. Like that's a guy that could help us out. Another name that I did see who's actually in AAA right now and is kind of like one of those that's like low risk, high reward. He's developing currently. He's having a great year in AAA, not pitching this year. He's got one more year of control. Throws gas at 97, slider, changeup. Let's give Estevez a shot. I feel like he's going to be a little bit easier to trade for. They're looking for a shortstop. I'm going to give him Elvis Andrus. Gets the deal done, basically. So that just means I could just go down here. Maybe throw him 27-year-old Parker Dunshee. There we go. Carlos Estevez getting the team. That's a reliever right there that we could just use. B potential too, so he has room to develop. And what I was doing was I was looking through AAA and just kind of seeing what relievers there were available, just kind of seeing who wasn't pitching or like who was struggling. So that was kind of what I was doing to see, okay, maybe they don't want him anymore, maybe they're not going to use him, or maybe they're just, you know, kind of struggling, so they decided to throw him down. Like, what's his deal? Why is Gregory Soto not becoming available? Let's see, who else? Alex Young hasn't pitched this year, struggled last year. Having a good year this year. Control till 2026. Again, he's a lefty. He could eat some innings as a long reliever. I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie. He pitched last year and struggled, so maybe they don't want to use him right now. You know, Michael Givens having a good year in AAA, but he's not really going to develop much more. Who else? I mean, they've got so many pitchers down here. Why are they not using them? I mean, they've got so many pitchers. They've got to be willing to part with one of them. It'd probably be Sledgers, huh? Or Sleegers, or maybe Poche. I mean, he's only been used once in AAA, so he might be a guy that we could get too. Okay. I'm kind of interested in who did we see? Logan Allen. No. Alex Young. Long reliever, or we could try to revert him back to a starter. What would they want for Alex Young? What would they want? Let's take a look. Let's see. Alex Young. It doesn't look like they want more. They want a first baseman, a catcher, a center fielder, or a reliever. Okay. So what about like Sky Bolt? We've got younger guys, and I know I said I'm trying to clear out a couple or try to add more depth to the outfield, but what if we could do that? Or I don't really want to give up Seth Brown. Let's see. What about Harold Castro? Harold Castro I'd be okay with. Or Nico Goodrum. He's not good. What about Nico Goodrum? They'd be interested kind of in him too. And then maybe like another one of these guys, like Friedrichs, kind of in on that. Used him last year. Had an okay year, kind of struggled. And then he's doing well in AAA, but he hasn't pitched yet this year. And I mean, he's one of their better relievers, and they're not using him at all. So I mean, I feel like if they're not going to use him, why not pick him up? You know what I mean? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm in on this one. Okay, so we got two decent relievers, or two decent, maybe one that's going to be a starter, I should say. And then now I want to find that outfielder. I definitely want to find that outfielder. Who is someone that's getting buried? And who could we get? All right, center field and shortstop. I think I have my mind made up, and I'm gonna do something that's a little bit unorthodox, and I want to see if it'll work. Yeah. Okay. So shorts. Let's just do the outfield first. I've looked at shortstop, and the center field position is proven to be a little bit difficult. The reason is Jake Cave got traded. I was actually going to go for Jake Cave in center field, and he got traded to the Yankees. A huge bummer. And I looked at a bunch of different people. I looked at like Malik Smith. I think he could be okay. He's got one more year on his deal of arbitration, and we could just kind of see how he does. Yeah, I mean, there's that. I looked at Daz Cameron. I was like, you know what? He's kind of young. He's got beat potential, decent field, decent speed. I kind of like that. Riley Green's probably the guy that they're most excited about. So like Daz Cameron, Alberto Celestino is an option, but see potential. He's probably capped out, so this is probably the best he's gonna get. Man, this is tough. This is tough. You know, I looked at Joe Adell, but then I was like, man, he's probably a little bit too good for us. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, dang, I really don't know who we could go with. You know, Ketel Marte becomes a free agent this year. And there's a couple others, but like Brennan Davis or Senzel, but he's starting every day. The Reds are doing poorly, and bringing in someone like that, you know, I mean, it's not like the worst, but like I'm looking at his numbers. I'm like, man, he's not really developing hitting wise, and I don't know. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Daz Cameron or Celestino. Or we could do something crazy and bring Mondesi in and move him to the outfield. And one thing that would be a little bit unorthodox with this is, you know, like Ahmed Rosario tried to move to the outfield. It didn't really work, but we could try something with him. You know, he's got the fielding, he's got the speed. And one way to do this would be, we can move him to center field. His overall would probably drop 1 or 2 ratings. And then what we could also do to step in to kind of give it more of a realistic touch would be to drop his fielding down a little bit, maybe into like the 70s. You know, the fielding and like the reaction down into like the low to mid 70s. That way it brings his rating down even more, but he'd still keep the speed. That would also give him a chance to boost up offensively, which could help us out, because then Mondesi would be a player that we could use. But then also bringing in that franchise piece at shortstop, it kind of takes away from that whole aspect of trying to keep it like a slow build up process. So I don't know. Pache was someone I considered, a guy that they brought up in 2020. You know, small season, didn't really get a chance to play. He didn't play at all in this save last year, but he's in AAA right now. He's doing fairly well, so I feel like we need offense though. We really do. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This one's tough. I kind of like the Mondesi deal, but I feel like I feel like that would add a player that's just too good, especially since we're bringing in that shortstop. So, you know, like I'm looking at the team. We've got Guillorme. We've got Andujar, the whole back. The outfield's still really weak, man. Nido's like really not that good offensively. Aquino's good, but like again, he's not. Does bringing in someone like Mondesi really change the grand scheme of the team? It doesn't. It really doesn't. Especially with our pitching and our bullpen. Even bringing in Estevez and Young. It doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm doing it. Okay, first, let's get that trade for the shortstop down. So rather than going for Nicky Lopez or Adames, I'm going to go Gavin Lux. That way we at least have another player that we can build with the team, right? He's not too great offensively right now, but let's do that. So what I'm going to do is, I think the deal that we talked about was done. Let's throw in Austin Beck. We'll give him 2 prospects, and then who was the other one that we had to do? Or was it Beck? I don't think it was Beck. It was Rondon. Was it Rondon? Oh no, it was Soderstrom. And then I will also throw in Beck. So we give him prospects. So one of the top prospects in baseball, actually, Soderstrom's like number 30 something. Justin Dunn, a pitcher that they could most likely turn into a superstar, and then Austin Beck, another prospect. And then we're gonna get Gavin Lux here. And then there's that. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it. I know some of you guys probably aren't gonna like it, but realistically, is it gonna really change the series? I don't think so. I really don't. We're such a bad team already. I don't think it's really gonna change anything. It says they want a first baseman. I don't really see them needing a first baseman. So what? I mean, realistically, do they need a shortstop then? If I take Mondesi from them? No. So they say they want a third baseman. So what about like Franco? Or do I give them like Zach Geloff, a prospect, one of our better ones? I throw in, let's see, who else? Maybe like Harold Castro. And then I'll throw in a prospect too in, let's see, maybe I give them Rondon. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just do that. Yeah. They can handle it. They can handle that. And then we'll move him to center field. And then what I'm going to also do is I'm going to sort the team out now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's make Mondesi an outfielder. We'll put him in center field. What does that make him at? 85. So he already drops down 3 ratings. And then I said I wanted to go to his fielding. And what we're going to do here is we're going to drop this down. We'll do like 73. And then we'll take his reactions down to like 75. And then what does that drop him down to? 83. That drops him down even more. And he's still got that beat potential. And honestly, okay, you know what? See, 83. That's pretty good. So now we've got an interesting team. Look at that. You know what? I feel like that's pretty good. I do want to change up a couple things here. I think maybe some of our pitchers go down because we're starting to get a little bit of depth. And then I also want to bring in... Ooh, I'm not going to bring in anybody, actually. Yeah. I think... I mean, we could maybe sign him. Do we need help? Do we need a little bit of help in the AAA category? How we looking? We're looking a little thin. So you know what? I'll sign. You guys have been asking for De La Cruz. I'll give him like a 3-year deal. See how he develops over time, or a 2-year deal. I'll do 2-year deal, $1 million. We'll see how he develops over time. We're gonna send him down though, and then I think I might leave it there. And I think that kind of sorts it all out. We get some bullpen arms, starters. I'm actually pretty happy with our starters. You know, you can see Zach Thompson's developing so quickly. Yeah. Let me sort out the team a little bit more as I rip the cord out of my headphones. I kind of like that business that we did. Let me see. You know what? I like that. You can see our team here. I mean, even the 81, it still puts us like, all right, I'll pull up our depth chart and you can see in the bottom left, we're still low ranked in like everything. And I think there's a way to see how we rank by position. Here it is. So we're 16th in center field, which is still middle of the pack. Right field, middle of the pack. Shortstop, middle of the pack. But you can see the red, we're pretty low on everything, right? So you got to think like we're doing well. We've got these 2 middle infielders who could come in, and we could also move these guys around too. Like we don't have to keep them in the positions they're in, right? Like Lassiter, probably a second baseman. But like him, he's got the fielding. He could potentially maybe be a left fielder. He could move around, maybe, yeah, probably second base though with the arm. But even maybe left field. We've got 2 decent relievers coming in. We've got a right fielder with some decent potential too. The cannon. So maybe he could move to third base, and then we move Saunders to first. You know, like we've got a lot of flexibility with our team. And I like what we have. You know, you see our depth chart now. And as players progress, we're starting to look like a good team here. So it's still a low slog process. We're going to still take it slow. I know we brought in a couple good players. But you got to see, like, we still got a long way to go. This pitching staff isn't going to be winning a lot of games. This bullpen's not going to be winning a lot of games. And even offensively, I'm still seeing a lot of holes in the squad. So I'm thinking we're looking good. I'm thinking we've got a team that we can really build around now. I like this team a lot. I think that's a good place to end it. Let's get to the actual deadline, and let's see if we get any more. Hopefully no injuries. That's the big thing here. Cardinals are willing to give me Brad Hand for Michael Franco. Really? What about somebody else though? What about like a Cody Whitley? I'm out. I don't want Brad Hand. I just don't. What are the Phillies going to offer me? Archie Bradley? No, I kind of want someone we can build this team up with. The Rays, David Robertson, I'm out. Alex Cobb's a small injury. The Yankees want to give me Darren O'Day. I don't want that. So let's get to the end of the month, and that is the deadline. I could go and see if there is maybe like a lower rated player that maybe we could go out and get that's a little bit younger. I don't really want Jace Fry. Let's see, anybody else? You know what? Since Michael Franco is really like the last piece that I want to trade, let's just see what we can get. Maybe a prospect? Maybe a prospect that we can maybe steal from somebody. I feel like a prospect's probably asking a little bit too much. But let's see. Maybe like a reliever on a really bad team. Maybe we can snag from. Let's see. Pirates, Reds, Marlins, Beavers, Rangers, Royals. Let's see. Let's see here. Is there the Pirates? Let's see if there's anybody with a little bit of potential that maybe we could just hold on to them and maybe they turn into something. Let's see. He's doing well. He's 26, but he might be one of those that just develops really quickly. I wonder if they want him. It gives them an MLB player for a reliever that they're not using. Let's just take a shot. Let's just take a shot on him. We're not going to use him in the majors. Where did he go? He went to AAA. Perfect. You know what? I think that's a good place to end it right there. But yeah, let's talk. I guess we could talk about the team. So quick breakdown. We'll take a look at also the league. See what other trades happened. The Phillies acquired Nick Ahmed. Okay. Any other trades go down? The Dodgers. No, we did that one. We did the Guardians trade. We did the Rockies trade. Jake Cave, Severino, and Jeffrey Springs for Tristan Casas. Really? Andrew Miller for Jorge Mateo. Chadwick Trump for Matt Whistler. And that's about it. Okay, so I feel like we kind of have a team here. You know, you look at our roster. You know, Thompson, Honeywell, Morejon, Harris, Darren. We've got a team. He is struggling. He really is struggling. That hits per 9 being 45 is killing us. We also have Dax Fulton, a guy that I completely forgot about. You know, the bullpen, like I said, is a couple question marks. But we do have Michel Baez, who is struggling. I still have faith in him. He's going to be a late bloomer. We got a couple other guys that could be little sneaky pickups for us. Catcher, we kind of need William Contreras to do something after trading Soderstrom. Yeah. Seth Brown, we need Bobby Dahlbeck to do something. We've got Volpe there. Art Saunders could potentially move to first base if our guys aren't doing well there, since we do have a couple of middle infielders. I did decide to bring in Taylor Walls on a 2-year deal. Just to be a backup shortstop. We needed a little bit more depth after getting rid of Harold Castro, Elvis Andrews, Jose Rondon. And then we still have these guys who are just waiting for the call up. You know, they're waiting for their chance. Taylor Trammell's still there. He's doing quite well in AAA right now, which is great to see. Get that confidence back up, and then we can call him up maybe later on this year or next year, and he'll be ready to go. We've got Andujar, who I definitely want to move to the infield. I'm just not 100% sure where yet. You know, the outfielders are developing. Center field's still a little bit of a question mark. We do have Mondesi. I'm going to give him that full year next year. We're going to see how he does. If everything goes well, we're in business. And then Aquino. And then we still got a couple pieces. So I think next year's draft focus is probably going to be a little bit of an outfield, maybe some pitchers as well. But for the most part, I feel like we've really turned this team around, and we've definitely got some pieces to build around now. You know, Saunders, Gavin Lux, we've got Volpe, we've got Robert Pawson, Mondesi, and then the pitching. Like, we're right here. They're projecting Zach Thompson to be up into the 80s next year. Like, that's a big move. So, you know, in what is this, 3 years from now, they're projecting our team to look pretty good. So I like what we did. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about it. I know some of you guys may not like the Mondesi move, but I thought it was a little bit different. I think it'll be an interesting thing to see how it unfolds. Let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know. I like the Gavin Lux trade. I felt like Adames may be a little bit too good for us right now. And then Nicky Lopez, since we took Mondesi, probably shouldn't take 2 from the Royals. Trying to appease everybody. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. A lot of thinking went in on this episode. We got some relievers. We got some shortstop. We got that center fielder. Told you how everything's going to play out. There. Yeah, that's really about it. I think we're looking pretty good. I think we'll start to give some debuts to some of the younger guys. I feel like we've built a good team. And I mean, I'll look at the budget really quick just to kind of get an idea of where we're at. We're at 53 mil. We still got a pretty decent budget that I kind of wanted to stay around, and I like the team that we've put together. That was fun. That was fun and different. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, thumbs up down below. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. I know I've said this stuff already, but I want to hear your thoughts about it. Should we have done more? I don't know. Maybe gone for like a top prospect. Let me know your thoughts. I really want to hear it. You guys have been killing it on the support. I can't thank you guys enough. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.